Good morning, everyone. Philippine time, 8:34 a.m., October 29th, 2000. Use that quick. How is everybody doing out there? Yeah, Bruce, get ready to set up, do my live. That old Mother Nature called. Yeah, how's everybody doing out there? It's a Wednesday, overcast, cloudy, rainy on Sherrigal Island. I think there's some rainstorm coming through. They are looking at a possible major typhoon. Too far out to tell yet, so nobody's calling it, but sometime next week. So we'll see as it develops where it's going to go, how big it's going to be, where it's going to make landfall. So we are keeping an eye on that. Definitely keeping an eye. You have to. Living here on Sherga Island, and even up the, that coast there where the typhoons come in. When you hear about things like that, you got to pay attention. You have to. You got to prepare. You got to get ready. No one can predict Mother Nature. So here, Jason Pike, how are you? Good morning, Brian. Celebrating my 52nd birthday today. Happy birthday, Jason Pike. I hope you have a good birthday. Looking forward to my trip to the Philippines in less than a month. Can't wait. Yes, counting it down. Going to be the longest few days of your not of your life, but you know what I'm saying. It's going to be a long few days counting it down, and then when you get here, and then goes by so quick. But happy birthday. Good morning. Question to you. You got that flu that's going around the Philippines like we do here in Dumaguete? No, I can't say. I haven't heard anything about no flu going around. However, looked last night in the middle of the night. She was awake. Her stomach was bothering her. She took medicine, and I know the kids had, they were sick about a week or so ago, kind of like with flu-like symptoms. So yeah, I guess you could say they did have it here. Now, whether it's the same one that's gone around that area, I couldn't tell you. Bruce, good morning, Bruce. How is Bruce? Bolts, good morning, and Brian. Just got 11 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. May you have a lovely, pleasant day to you and your family. Thank you, Bolts, for stopping in. You it's 11 a.m. there, so you have a good day. Slick Rick, how is Slick Rick checking in from San Francisco, California? John at My Little World, good morning to you. GACTVDX, hi Philly 215, you're from the 215, Stroudsburg, listening from FM POCO 103 Stroudsburg. I know right where Stroudsburg is. Bruce, text should have been 8:30 a.m. Filipino time. Victor Coco, thank you, sir, for stopping by. Blue Jays are going to win the World Series. I said I was going to root for the Blue Jays, but I don't think I watched a single game of the World Series. I did see they did go into, 19 innings, 18 innings? That's crazy, right? But you're saying the Blue Jays. Go Blue Jays. Mr. David, how are you doing? I am doing good. Yeah, I am looking handsome. I'm not the one to cut any slack. GR, Gypsy Rose in the house. How is GR doing? Have out down. Is it safe? You're at your own risk, right? Uh, is it safe? Ricky USA, thank you for stopping in. Ricky's always stopping in, stops in to see my channel, Luis's channel, multiple other channels that I go to. Ricky's usually always in there. There's a handful of people that really are involved with YouTube channels and staying active within them all. Ricky's one. They go to the good quality channels. Let's put it that way. Yes, GR, we will stay safe. Will there be a reggae song for Hurricane Melissa? That I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. I'm sure somebody will. Somebody will. That is devastating. That down through Jamaica there. This tattoo right here, I got in Jamaica. Right? There's a story behind that. You go to how far am I? Way. Okay, I'm not that far off on my. Let me go. Hey, Joe Hardy. Then I'll get into my story. Joe Hardy, thank you. 72 tomorrow. Good day to you, sir. Thank you, Gary. Back at you. Ventures of the Philippine American couple. Hello, good to see you, and happy Halloween to you and everybody else out there. George, thanks for stopping in. 18 innings, there it is. Good morning, Brian from a wet Lipa. Steve, good morning to you. Also, I caught up. Let me, James and Karen, hey, thanks for stopping in, guys. James Gilbert, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. This tattoo right here, I got in Jamaica years ago, right? You know how you go on vacation. You come down to the beautiful island of Sherrigal. Let's example that way. And I know I'm my ears itching, my nose is itching. I'm a mess this morning. You get down here, and what do? Oh, let me get a souvenir. Let me get a key ring. Let me get a refrigerator magnet. Let me get a T-shirt, the famous T-shirt you're going to get. I'm like, I've had all those stuff. I've had all those things. And I went to Jamaica. To become one with the Bob Marley experience. If you understand what I'm saying, I know GR understands what I'm saying. So I'm like, I don't want anything like that. Let me get, I want something that's, I'm gonna have that I remember forever. Oh, that T-shirt. Well, I didn't put my T-shirt in the box and keep it nice. I wore the T-shirt, and after like 3 or 4 washes, them T-shirts just fall apart, and you know what I'm saying, fade and all that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm getting a tattoo. So I'm at the resort, and they have these van drivers. They drive around. Hey, where do you want to go? Hey, where do you want to go? And I told him, I said, take me into town. I said, I want a tattoo. Okay, man. Got that, man. Everything's man, right? And takes me down into the city. And we get out, and we're walking through the city. And I look, and I see these kids. They were like 12, 13 years old with these freaking machetes walking around, And it wasn't a very nice neighborhood. And he goes, you follow me, man. I don't know if the guy's setting me up. I'm thinking, holy, I hope this guy isn't setting me up. And I'm thinking about that movie, The Hostel. Remember where the people, they stayed in, remember that movie years ago? So we walk up to this one building. You could tell it's a housing development. It was like a U shape, and it was like 6 stories high. And we're walking up these outer stairwells, right? And I'm like, oh man, am I going to be all right? And we walk down past and people are hanging out, and hey, mom, looking at you like, what is this foreigner doing here? Like this white guy, this is a pretty, you know, your hard ghetto type, living. It wasn't out in the province, it was city hardcore living. And take me back to this room, and he opens up the door and we go in, and there's a couch there, and this old Jamaican woman was laying on the couch like sleeping. And then there was another door, and he goes, he goes, wait here. And I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? You want me to wait here, and I'm, all right, taking it all in. And he goes, okay, mom, come in. He opens up the door. We go in. We go through a few rooms. It's kind of dark, not much light. And he opens up another door, and I walk in. It's like this really nice tattoo studio. I mean, it was bright. It was lights. All his equipment was sterile. It was new. He had, it was a nice tattoo party or parlor there. And then to find out, he tattoos a lot of well-known people. That's why it's back in there, and musicians and artists and stuff. And we got talking, but I told him, I said, just give me something. I don't want anything. I picked that design out, and I said, put the colors of Jamaica in it. And he told me, I forget what the meaning of the symbol of the sign is. Has something to do with Jamaica. And did all that. I don't even know what I paid for it. Couldn't even tell you. But yeah, that's my Jamaican tattoo story. I got a lot of Jamaican stories there. Woo! Like I said, I went to Jamaica to experience the Bob Marley experience, okay? I went there to island hop and all that fun stuff. Anyways, I get a drink, parched. Where are we at here? Can't go wrong with the Blue Jays. Just saying. Ventures of the Philippine American couple. Yeah, I'm going with the Blue Jays. The Cowboys, they lost. I get up. Now they're on Monday night next week. So I get up at 5 a.m. Usually the morning games in football, those are, I can't watch them because you're watching them. If it's 1 p.m. in the States, East Coast, it's 1 a.m. here in the Philippines. So my Fire Stick I have that I use to watch everything on, including my sports, those that asked. You have to watch it live. So I'm not getting up at 1 a.m. to watch a 1 p.m. game. I don't care if it's Cowboys or not. But I will do the 4:30 one. I'll set my alarm for 5. I'll miss part of the first quarter and then watch the rest of the game. But yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. Mondays, I watch NFL. And that's my day. You know what I mean? I give myself that day to watch my sports. Now, throughout the week, I also watch other sports, basketball, wrestling. But I get that all on the Fire Stick. So, and then after football, I'll be bored when it comes to sports. No. My brother Miguel is he's into the basketball. Of course, like all Filipinos, they love basketball. They love playing basketball. You see hoops everywhere you go, no matter where you go. It just amazes me how they build these, like, they're really nice basketball courts. I guess you could equivalent it to back in the States how we have outside Little League baseball parks, and some of them are really, really nice. Well, here they put the money into making sure they have like a community area where they can come and play basketball. And and they put a lot of money into some of them. Here in Dapa, I couldn't believe it when I walked into their gymnasium. I mean, it was inside, it was new, and they had tournaments going on. Filipinos love like doing things like that, going to the tournaments, playing, and that's what I mean. When you come to the Philippines, a lot of like I don't understand why people don't want to see and I'm not saying get involved and like I'm going to coach. No, like just seeing how the people live, how they interact, and like those are the things that the people go to, and it's like it to me it's fun, you know. But you got people that have come to the Philippines and never even experienced anything like that. Like you'll get to appreciate more about the Filipino people and culture when you immerse yourself somewhat in it. People can tell you stories. Oh, this is how our culture is. This is how our culture is. But when you're actually in the environment and experiencing it, you don't know. It it's like in America, we have our own culture. It's people always leave comments and stuff like, "Well, why don't they do this?" or "What about this?" And it's like it's their culture. It is. Um, it's hard to break from your own culture and your own traditions from where you come from when you come here to the Philippines. You know, you don't give them up. However, you've been doing something so long, you're used to it. Well, they've been doing the same thing for so long, they're used to it. Um, and sometimes it's hard to 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 understand. Um, but yeah, like I said, I like going checking those. I've been to the MMA fights. You know what I mean? The the Rooster MMA fights, which is a big thing here, and some people agree with it, some people disagree with it. And oh wow, did you see that? I just knocked my cone off. Um, but it's what they do here. I've been to them. I can say I did it. I can say I checked it out, seen what that aspect of the people and the culture of the Philippines is like. Um, yeah, you have to get yourself involved. You know, but then again, it depends on where you're at too. I mean, where I live here in Sherga Island, out here in the jungly area, it's a different. Um, it's a different type living where the Filipinos are. Like different areas in the Philippines have different ways of thinking too. They all have different. They all have something different going on. From all the way northern Luzon, trickle down through all the provinces and this, all the way down. It's like each area has their own way of thinking, like their own traditional things they do. And I say, you know, that's what I like about being out here in the province compared to a city. Cities are nice too. I mean, it's all in what you want. But you have people have to decide where they want to live here. And I understand. I understand. You know, a lot is has to do with I want to be near a hospital. You know, but that's another day for another video. Where are we at? I got one of, yep, I got one of those fire sticks. Yep, best thing to do. One of the best things to bring with you or order when you get to the Philippines. If you like sports and you like uh, whatever you like, movies, your shows from back home that you like watching, the best thing. However, there's things you got to do to it to get certain free channels. Uh, Ricky says, remember daylight saving times and this weekend, so you'll be 13 hours. Yes, you are correct. See there, then daylight saving times begins in the States. So right now it is 8:45 a.m. here where I'm living. However, if I call my mom, it is now 8:55 p.m., but it is the day, it's yesterday. It's still the 28th where she lives. So when you guys turn the clock back, all right, spring forward, fall back, it messes up my time because it knocks it off by an hour. So I remember that when I called. Now, of course, she's in her 70s. She ain't out partying. You know what I mean? She has her routine. She has her the things that she does. Walking the dog, and my dad. He's older. Um, but yeah, I got to remember that when I call back, and it messes me up. Say if I got to call bank back in the States, my bank, or I got to call anything back in the States, I got to remember the time schedule. Um, but yeah, I thought they were getting rid of that. Eh, Richie Rich abroad. I don't have much time, much free time, so I watch 20 minutes condensed game in the NFL and NBA. Way quicker, and you get the most important plays. And yeah, you can do that also. You can do that also. Go on YouTube, do whatever, and they will give you the highlights of the game. But that takes the fun out of it, right? But I know what you're saying. Did you hear pro life total his truck today? Nope, didn't hear. Pro life total his truck. Nope, didn't hear that. Pro life. Uh, didn't hear that. Where are we at? Do Filipinos get angry at you? No, no. I mean, I only got what 2,000. I don't know what it's at. 3,000 views. I couldn't tell you. No, no, they didn't get angry. No angry. I didn't have to delete any comments. They don't care. You guys, they don't care. Uh, but me, that's me. That was just me. I'm speaking my mind. But they don't. Nothing will ever be done. Nobody cares. Have a nice day, my boy. Welcome to Sharon Gal. Speaking of, the boat. You can now, yet it hasn't showed up. You can book a boat from Manila directly down to Siargao Island here. They built the new port. Uh, I was down and did a video on it. They were supposed to arrive this month, but something happened. So they're planning for next month. They're ready. I see them advertising for it and this and that. Um, but here's the catcher. I and of course different prices for different levels of sleeping comfort and all that. And I'm like, all right, I guess it's pretty good. But they're saying 24 hours from Manila down here. But here it departs Manila. They're saying it's going to depart Manila at 6:30 a.m. Arrive in Siargao Island the next day at 11:30 p.m. So it arrives at 11:30 p.m. If all goes well, all right, then you're going to quick do whatever activities you're limited to what activities you can do here because the island's open and it takes a little time to get to different areas. Beautiful. But here's what I understand. The boat departs the next day. Yeah. Like you're not having much time. But we'll see. I hope the boat arrives because I want to see it. I think it's going to be neat. But we'll see what happens. But they're saying hopefully that can pick up the tourism on this island. It definitely needs it. But then they have like listing of it's to go. That's the boat. But they got suites that you can rent, a super value class on the boat. And no, to go is not paying me for this advertisement, right? They're not paying me. But super class value, I think that's your lowest cabin area where you sleep, on the boat. 2,286 pesos, all the way up to a suite. A suite. This is your top room. You're going to be staying on this boat. 10,801 pesos. I guess that's okay. Maybe if you're afraid to fly, you want to take a boat. All right. But for a couple thousand more pesos, you could get a round trip and not spend all your time on a boat. I've never done a lot of boat traveling. I don't know. There are people that travel, those YouTubers out there that travel, guys like Regular Guy, like how Finn Snow used to do it, cool ass, Becoming Filipino, the older travelers, and they still have some today. They spend a lot of time doing things like that. A lot of times riding buses, a lot of times riding boats, a lot of times riding motorcycles. But yeah, they get around. I I think that's cool that they do that. That they do that. They've done that and gotten around like that. I just like to get from point A to point B as quick as I get there, right? uh, Vet Vlogs. Thanks for the inspiration. I just came and visited. I was going to stay a few months, but I came home after a week. I loved every minute of it. I had some medical. I had some medical with my son. I needed to get back. Understandable. Understandable. When you got to get back home, wherever you're from, if you have a family issue, um, that's the thing. You're over here in the Philippines, and those things arise. And I think sometimes you have to know what is a major emergency. Um, Unlike, oh, it's just a common cold. You know what I mean? When it comes to loved ones back in the States, especially when your family members get older. Um, but yeah, it that happens. And you got to decide. But you came over here and had a going to stay a few months, but then had to go back after a week. A week, that's not enough time to really, I would say, to be your first experience. But I understand you had to leave. But I would say 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Decide where you want to go. Decide what area you think is going to interest you. I know. I got a comment from a subscriber, and it's like I want to say so much about about his comment, but I don't want to type my everything there. So it's like you have to decide where you want to go check out. What do you like? Do you like going and exploring? What area is going to give you the best place to explore? These backpackers get up and they just strap their shit on and go. You know what I mean? I'd be beat up. I'd be hurting. I'd be in pain. Where do you want to go? And how do you want to get there? And what is your accommodations? How do you want to stay? And check it out. If you're into like waterfalls, and go to an area where there's waterfalls. If you're into scuba diving, go to, if you want to go check out a city, oh, let me check out this city and see what it's like. Go for it. Go for it. See if you like it. See if you don't like it. You might like it. You might not like it. Go where you want to go. And I would say spend your 2 weeks there, and do little trips. I'm not saying maybe fly halfway around, all over the Philippines, but do your little trips from there. That's what I would suggest. And you'll know, you know. And then if you come back a second time and you like where you were at, or like, let me kind of go. Don't, don't. My mistake, a big mistake I made, and if I could go back and do it again, I would have not stayed in one location. I would have done more exploring, more looking different locations on where to live here. That's one thing I would have changed. You know what I'm saying? Spent more time. All right, what's his area like? Let me go out, check it out. Bruce, hey Bruce. Jay's up 2-1 in the third. Thank you for the baseball update. What happened to the sudden stop? Bruce, I was over at we were over at Eddie's Beach Resort, right? And I was doing the live there, and internet connection issues. It was running good there, and then it was rainy and cloudy out, and bam, internet connections. It just boom, it just shut me off, and that was that. That's what happened there. Newfie in the Philippines. Good morning, Brian. Attitude is the biggest contributing factor to happiness here in the Philippines. Come here with a shitty attitude. You'll have a shitty experience. A simple smile goes a long way. Yes. Yes. Shitty attitude, shitty experience. True. I think when people first come here, I know when I first came here, I didn't know what to expect. Got off the plane, met with the beautiful humidity of the Philippines, right? I came in October 2012. Remember, what the hell? What am I doing? Holy shit, I'm in a, wow. I wasn't this great big experienced traveler. Like, you got guys out there that are experienced in traveling. They've been doing it their whole lives, whether it was military or business or whatever. Um, got outside, and I didn't know anything about the taxi drivers. You know what I mean? I didn't know anything about that, what to look for, what not to look for. I didn't have a YouTuber telling me, what to do, what to look out for, and in some cases, giving you bad advice. But I remember that, and it can be overwhelming, but you take it one step at a time, right? And yeah, everybody remembers, if you've been here, your first experience in the Philippines. And then either that's why you're here, or that's why you're getting to wanting to retire here, or that's why you're coming here because you took that step and came to the Philippines. That's the first thing you got to do. Take that first step. You put. I just had a flash. A flash. Remember because it's Christmas time here in the Philippines, and we can talk about Christmas. All right. Matter of fact, they're done building the tree. Now they got it decorated. It's a cool looking tree they built out here. That Christmas, what was it? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. All right. I said you put one foot out, you put one foot in front of the other to get to the Philippines. Remember that song? Put one foot in front of the other. I know my voice is terrible. Remember that? If you're my age and you watch Christmas cartoons at Christmas, you remember that. That was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the world famous Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's what I'm saying. You put one foot in front of the other planet to get to the Philippines and get here. Now, what you do after that, and whose advice you took after that, that'll determine whether or not you succeeded or you failed. What's going on? I'm a bay man. Nick Lopez. Thanks for stopping in, Nick. What's my count? How many people do we got watching? I see what my Wednesdays live numbers are going to be like. I don't know what they're going to be. Just tell me there's 55. I can look at two different screens here. I like to look at numbers. What are my numbers? All right. Back to the studio. I have some Halloween candy right now. Did you buy any yet? Vivek? No, sorry, hang on a second. Here, they do Halloween here in the Philippines. Different areas do the Halloweening. Like your American traditional, take the kids out trick-or-treating, get candy. Up in Angeles City, they did it up there. I did see last year over in General Luna a few kids kind of walking around, getting candy. Out here where we're at here in Indapa, you're not going to see anything like that. But no, I didn't get my candy. They do more. You will see over in the General Luna area, you'll see more parties going on for people being, like for adults. You know what I mean? Years ago, Halloween was for kids. Now the adults have gotten into it over the years, and They have adult Halloween parties, and yeah, but no, that's now we have All Souls Day, so that's what's coming up. Also, those that aren't familiar with it, All Souls Day is what, the first, All Saints Day or the second. It's the first and second, and that's when they go to the grave sites here. Um, it's a holiday. Their days, they those days off. They go to the grave sites. They pay their respect to their loved ones. Um, they'll hang out there all day. There's grave sites here, and I've seen them where they have a full, not a full kitchen, but they have a kitchen in it with running water and electric, and then the families just come there and celebrate every year. And that's another thing that is neat to observe. And that's all over the Philippines. And if you haven't observed something like that, or only seen it on a YouTube channel, it's like you got to get out and observe. You got to put yourself out there. And these are just things that are just they're 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 not gonna. You don't need to be. If you're in a wheelchair, you can experience these things. You're not gonna hike through no jungle. But if you have family or whatever, or they have some. I remember they have some in the city. I drove my car through and I parked and walked around. I didn't feel anybody was going to hurt me or anything like that. And you know what? If you have a girlfriend you're with or a wife like, to check those things out and actually experience it is pretty cool. Once again, the people are smiling. You, you go in there and act like a normal human being. Don't act like an idiot. Show respect. Uh, the people are friendly. They'll offer you food, they'll offer you drink. But a lot of people haven't experienced anything, and they live here. you know, I think those that are married and are out of the city, and there are quite a few expats like that. I think they've experienced it. I remember those. I'm sorry if I'm getting behind. I remember those old Christmas songs. Yeah. Like you watched them, and I guarantee you, your child watched them, and I guarantee you, your grandchild watched them. Those are classic. Do the kids even watch the classic Christmas stories and Christmas uh, cartoons anymore? Those were the ones I looked forward to when I was a kid. This is when I still believed in Santa. Wait, I still do believe in Santa. Uh, I look forward to them every year. I remember they were on like CBS. You only got Channel 3, Channel 6, and Channel 10. You got Channel 12, you got Channel 48, and you got Channel 29, and possibly Channel 17. You had to turn the knobs on the TV. You know what I'm saying? I would look forward to them every year, those Christmas ones. And they would always play at like 8 o'clock at night, maybe on a weekend, because I could stay up late because I had a bedtime. I had a curfew when I was a kid. I didn't have this in my hand. I survived, right? and But I look forward to them. As a matter of fact, I will. I don't know if they even have them on TV anymore during the holidays. They'll have Christmas special. Christmas, the Osmonds Christmas. You remember the Osmonds now? Uh, Donnie and Marie, and all. Remember that? The Osmonds all got together and they would do these TV shows and um, yeah, hee haw. That's going back, huh? I know Freaky USA was in there. He knows what I'm talking about. I'm sure Slick Rick knows what I'm talking about. Philippine peso getting weaker, right? Yes. Yep. It is up as of yesterday. I did a money transfer through Wise. I like Wise. I know people use other money transferring online businesses, but I like Wise. I like it. It works perfect for me. When it's all done and said, I wind up paying like $13 between my bank charging me, um, and that's the highest. And then the conversion rate, all that, $13. Um, the money's in my account. I have it set up within 6 hours. It's usually there within two. Um, but I made a big transfer of money when I seen that at 59. I'm like, let me get this real quick. Who's to say it's not going to drop tomorrow? Or I'm rolling the dice, it may go up. So yeah, I did a nice transfer. That's good. 59 pesos. It's like 59.63, something like that. But that is a good rate. I don't ever remember it getting up to a 59. I really don't. In all the years I've been here, I don't. There was a stretch there where if it jumped up to 55, I was like, yo, man, let me run in, let me get to the money. Like 55 was good. Like I've been here almost 10 years, so I've seen a lot of the peso rates up and down throughout the year. And then I remember it would kind of went above 55 all the time. And it's like I would wait for the next highest one for the following month, and but that's good. That's really good. So if you're in the Philippines and you transfer money, like now's a good time. And I think a lot of expats that live here possibly transfer money at the end of the month or the beginning of the month. A lot of times, people that are retired, I guess, and getting a Social Security, what do they get it at the end of the month or the beginning of the month? So then a lot of transfers go on that way. But always keep an eye on it. Always keep an eye on that peso rate. Paul Rogers, hi Philly. For me, what first attracted me about living in the Philippines was it was the first time in my life I ever had dollars in my pocket that lasted. That was back in 1981. Wow, you're going back. Yeah, that was a different Philippines than it is now, right? 1981. Uh, aren't Filipinos Catholic? Yes, a lot are. There, surprisingly, there's a lot of, you see that uh, Iglesia Cristal, or I don't know how to pronounce it. They're everywhere. You see their churches everywhere. And they're a church and they are designed the same. They all look from the outside the same. And we have one here. Uh, yes, you have Catholics, you have Baptists, you have a lot of religion. Of course, you have the Muslim religion here. You have a lot, but they're primarily a Catholic. Uh, but that's the Catholic thing. I think that's the Catholic thing that they do the All Souls Days for. Who? I think so. Yeah. Mhm. Robert says I kept all my old DVDs so that my grandkids can see all the classic movies. Robert, my mom did that also. Of course, when DVDs were starting to really come out, I was older. You know what I mean? So what she did was she went out and got all the DVDs for the grandkids. And I think she still has this massive library of DVDs down in her basement. And but yeah, she did that. And then, when the grandkids come over, she popped tapes in for them. And but yeah, we're all going to grandma's house. She's got the latest Walt Disney Aladdin. Yeah. I'm in my 70s and things have already changed. I miss the good old holidays. Yeah, the good old holidays. We all have those happy childhood memory holidays, or sadly, people have sad memories of the holidays. Uh, but yeah, we can't bring it back. We can only bring it back up here. You know what I'm saying? Only bring it back up here. Uh, Mark Doyle, good afternoon. Thank you for stopping in, Mark Doyle. Newfie in the Philippines. I spent last Xmas in Davao City. I was walking around. At least three different families invited me to have dinner with them. You could tell they never had much, but still offered. It was a heartfelt. Exactly. Yeah, they will offer you dinner. Uh, I've been many places. Once again, don't walk around like just, you know, good morning, say good morning, say hello, a smile. Um, Filipinos are going to smile back at you. They're going to say good morning. Some are going to be more vocal than others when it comes to saying hello to you. Um, but you can walk around. Like I've been many places where Filipinos, it's lunchtime, they're sitting there and they got rice and they got maybe a little fish and not much. And they got the vinegar, they're putting the vinegar on the everything to give it a flavor. And they'll be eating and they'll be like, and then they'll invite you to eat with them. They will invite you to eat with them. They don't have much, but they'll invite you. And I think that's something that makes the Philippines what it is. You can walk around and people are drinking right oars. Hey, and you wave, hello, 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 and hey, hello, and they'll call you. Now it's up to you what you want to do. At that point in time, some Filipinos may say, they might feel offended that you didn't have a drink with them or offended that you didn't eat with them. But I always do the old when it comes to the drinking because they want you to drink with them. Unless you want to drink with them, that's up to you. You're a grown adult. Uh, I was no bad heart, bad heart, bad heart. No drinking, no drinking. And then okay, okay, okay. Or when they want you to, when they want to offer you food, I just like, oh no, busog, busog, salamat, busog. In other words, thank you, but I'm busog, and like rub your belly. Busog is like you're full, and okay, you gotta, or if it depends. Sometimes if it looks really good, like I might say a little bit, little taste, you know, just so I can say I tasted it. But you got to say you get what you want out of the Philippines. Whatever you want to put into it. You want to sit home and sitting a condo, sitting in a house in a city, and or even in a province, and you got your routine where you go, what you eat. Uh, if you're happy with that, then you're happy with that. I don't know. We all have a routine, but I don't know. And you can always change your routine, right? That's what I said. Get out and try something. Get out and do something. It doesn't have to be anything big or expensive. I know a woman in Davao. Sounds like Nick. That sounds like it should be like a song, right? I know a woman in Davao. I've learned more about the Philippines from your videos and reading books or watching other Philippine videos that have useless content. Well, you take what you want from whoever you want. Uh, it's up to you. Maybe I should do a video of a guy, and then you got to wonder how many of these stories some of these YouTubers tell are fact or fiction. You know, I could create stories too. I could easily create a story to get people to, watch and talk about it and then give advice about it. You got to look at, you got to wonder, is it fact or fiction? You know, I know there's a guy here, a guy, and this is a known fact. This is not fiction. Known fact. I think Rafa Tufu, just his group was down here on this island covering this issue. Um, Something to do with the wife here tried to sell the husband's property. You know the whole story on all that, how that works. His wife sold this, and the horror stories that sell that people want to hear about. Um, I know there's an issue that's going on down here. Um, so that's not a story. That's a true. Well, it's a story, but it's true. Um, yeah. When you live here, you start. When you live here on this island, you start hearing things that you don't hear when you're just a tourist. You know what I mean? Uh, uh, Rick in Asia. Hi from General Santos. I hope you're well. I am doing well. Rick in Asia. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello. AI could help with your story. You know how to get it good, to get it good and juicy. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't do those AI things. Uh, it's the way of the future. It's the future. Hey, it's gonna be AI. I guess. I mean, I think to an extent, you're never going to outsource these with AI. AI is not going to do these. AI is not going to fix a pipe that's leaking in somebody's house. AI is not going to go out and build a house. AI is there are just certain things that AI can't and will never do. Now, AI can give the average person a lesson on how to do it for yourself, but you're still going to use these hands. That's why I say, the I come from a working class family. All right. You remember who said that? I come from a working class family. Uh, a lot of people come from working class families. I'm from a working class family. My parents weren't rich. They didn't work in offices and buildings. And you know what? My family, both sides, my mom's side, my dad's side, my aunts, my uncles, my grandfathers, they all lived during that depression era. They used their hands. A mason, plumbers, carpenters, uh, pipe fitters, they used their hands. And kids go to tech school for all that. um, I was in that field at one time, and it's like, we're getting paid, but we ain't getting paid top dollar. You're not getting paid top dollar because you don't have a college education. You need a college. It's like people look down on the those that worked in the trade, and they got paid. They worked their ass off, and they got paid. But things should switch, because you know what? You got to go to colleges. You can go to colleges to learn these trades now and get degrees, start businesses, HVAC, and guess what? I am going to set the price for what I want. Why? You need it. I got it. But yeah, AI won't replace these. It may replace me sitting here talking to you, but nah. Raw content on the spot can't replace AI. Now, I like your real deal approach to real life in the Philippines. Try to tell it how it is. Some people like it, some people don't. I always enjoy your walking talk, as well as your on the road videos, always pointing out the real life there. Yeah, I like doing that. Today's not going to happen. Tomorrow, I got to get over, and I got to do I got to register my motorbike. Um, I know where it's at, and it's very simple to do here on this island. Um, my brother-in-law, he's gone and registered motorbikes here. He's gone there and he's renewed his driver's license here. And it's very simple. Like, you don't have 100 million people there and there's no bullshit going on. All right, come on in. How much is it? Boom, bing, bang, you're out. Like, it's very simple. So I gotta do that. And there's a couple of roads I just want to hop on and be like, where does this road go? You know, where does it go? It's got to come out somewhere. The island's not that big. It's got to come out somewhere. And I want to do that sometime this week and just stop along the way, get my drone up, and I just like doing things like that. But a lot of people, they just want to hear drama. They want drama. They want uh, they want to be told how to live and what to do when they get to the Philippines. I laugh. But anyways, it is 1 hour. 1 hour I've been here. 45 people. We've had 45 people. That's good. I guess that's good numbers. I could have maybe put up some dramatic. Let's see if I can draw more drama to my room and put something dramatic up there as a title to entice people, because that is what's happening. Everybody's numbers are down, so everybody's trying to entice people to watch their channel with dramatic titles. Got to ride it out. All I got to say is, if you are a YouTuber right now, and you just got to ride it out. See what happens. Drama drone. Drama drone. Yeah. I get it. Matter of fact, I haven't fired it up in a while, so I've got to fire it up, check to see if there's any updates, because it'll come on. Bing, bing, bing. It's very nice seeing that drone fire up. And it'll let you know, is there an update? Yep. Boom, hit that update. Sit back, wait. It'll update its firmware. And I'll plug the batteries in. And these batteries on these drones, if you don't use them, they discharge. They're designed to discharge, right? Doesn't kill the battery off, doesn't weaken the battery. It's actually preserving the battery. So then you just gotta charge up them batteries, and I'll fire it up and take it up for a test spin if it's not raining. But I want to do that. I enjoy doing that. I like doing it better than going out and hanging out in the mall. You know what I mean? So, anyways, guys, and it's breakfast time. Picked up some bacon. And with that being said, thank you everybody for stopping in, saying hello, and keep you updated on that storm system. We're going to call it a storm system out in the ocean that they're looking to see what it's going to amount to. So, all right, guys. Talk to you later.